Hola, mommies and poppies. It is Yawnie, your DJ, and dance junkie with today's dose of the dime. Thank you for joining me here, right here on the Batchelor News Radio Network, the best network to ever be on. I'm so glad that you've joined me. You could be anywhere else, but you are here with me. So, listen, I do a lot of different radio shows, and we talk about a lot of different relationship stuff. So, if there's one thing that may feel like something that you want to explore, you can go to thebatchelornews.airtime.pro and see any of my shows in the past and kind of catch up on what it is that I do because what it is that I do is basically here for you to vibe and be willing to be into your relationship wholeheartedly, right? So that's the name of the game. That's the goal. And I'm so glad that you guys are here with me. Like I said, it is a wonderful day. We're actually celebrating the new moon in Gemini. And what does that mean? A new moon in Gemini. First of all, the new moon period is just a time and a space where we can focus on new things. We kind of get a chance to look and see if that this is what we're wanting, is this what we're wanting to do, and to move forward and make new affirmations, make new manifestations. So it's a good place, a good time to be. And I'm glad, like I said, you're here with me to kind of make this happen, make this shift with me. Okay. So I am, let me tell you, I was a licensed master of social work, but I am now a licensed clinical social worker dash probationary. However, we are on our way to clinical supervision. Listen, I'm right there. Okay. I'm also a certified life coach. And you can find me on all my forms of social media. I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram, I'm on TikTok, I'm on Twitter, on YouTube, on different forms of social media. Just look up A Dose of the Dime or the DJ Dime. And again, you're welcome to come to Facebook. We have a Dose of the Dime Facebook group that we kind of update frequently. There's a lot of times that we update. As a matter of fact, I just went through and marked a lot of comments. Like, we wanted to hear from you. I want to hear from everybody to hear what it is that's going on in your relationship, how you feel, what you feel might help somebody else get out of a space that's not really, necessarily for them, right? So you want to be in a space that's good for you. And sometimes hearing other people's story can help you do that. So definitely take some time, get in the group chat, and just kind of go through some of the questions and answer appropriately. Your feedback is phenomenal. I call the people that are on there, I call them my dime pieces, so they like that. That's kind of cute, and I love you guys. I love my dime pieces 100%. So thank you guys for vibing with me. And the goal of my show, honestly, is to heal, to shift, and to vibe. So what does that mean? I want you to heal those traumas that have you stuck in your relationship. I want you to shift from negative patterns, negative behaviors, negative situations that you've been stuck in. And I want you to vibe. I want you to find the relationship that's really for you, the one that makes your heart, happy. And I want you to just be there and be happy. Because let me tell you, peace, there's nothing that I would not pay for peace. And if you cost me my peace, you are way too expensive for me, because peace, there is no price tag you can put on it. Your house should always be peaceful. So if you have somebody in your house that's not making your house peaceful, you might want to relegate that. Make sure that situation is handled. Make sure you put your boundaries out there. And as I've told you before, it's not enough to set your boundaries. You also have to uphold your boundaries. So definitely something to think about as we move forward into the last 6 months of the year. Oh my God, this year is almost gone. We're halfway through. Isn't that crazy? So definitely, if you are watching me live right here on the Batchelor News Radio Network, please feel free to drop me a comment below or even a question. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. Specifically, we want to talk about exclusivity, and we want to talk about clarity. So these are some things that we want to get into, right? So definitely today is a good day. I'm so glad you guys are here. I don't know what it's like where you are, but right in Oklahoma, it is muggy and cloudy. It's not necessarily rainy, but it definitely is kind of muggy, cloudy. Not a lot of sunshine. So it's a kind of a cool, mellow mug vibe. I don't know how you want to do that. And of course, you know, in Oklahoma, in Tulsa, Oklahoma in particular, we have the biggest Juneteenth celebration in the country. So definitely looking forward to that next month. And I hope, you know, if you guys see me out there, holla at a sister. Again, send me some love. I also have my own website is www.thedjdime.com, and you're welcome to look through my blogs, my podcasts. I even got a little bit of merchandise if you're looking to, you know, spice up your positivity game, you know, so definitely make sure you check that out. So again, the hot topics for today, I go through a Dose of the Dime radio show Facebook group, and I post these different memes, and sometimes other people post memes too, and we all sit there and we kind of vibe and talk about them, right? And so for this week was absolutely a doozy. I had posted something that I had seen on another group, and it was basically a question answer. It was a scenario. So let me take some time so I can get you guys caught up. So I've been seeing this dude for about 6 months. We're not exclusive. So that's cue number one. We spend a lot of time together. Most times we're at each other's house, and on the weekends, cue number two. So one, they've been together for 6 months. They're not exclusive, which means that there are no titles, no tags, no labels. And they've been spending a lot of time together, meaning they're probably sexually active. Okay. So we traveled quite a bit together too. He's a great person. He seems to like me a lot. And we've been talking about making it official, but we haven't yet. Okay. So, we talk about these things, and I make this very clear. Please do not do girlfriend, boyfriend things if you are not girlfriend, boyfriend, because it skews the line, okay? So let's move on into the scenario because we're not done yet, okay? So they haven't made it official. Again, non-exclusive. They like each other a lot. Probably dropped the L word a couple of times, but they are not official. So on Saturday, we were supposed to go out, and he called me and told me he wouldn't be able to go because he was tired and he was going home to go to sleep. Okay. I told him to have fun, and I decided to go hang out. About an hour later, my phone rings, and it's him. I answer, and he doesn't say anything. So I'm thinking it's a butt dial. I'm about to hang up until I heard a woman's voice. So I listened. She was telling him how much fun she had last night, and she couldn't wait to get back to his house to do it all again. He responded by saying, well, let's go. And I heard a bunch of rustling. I hung up the phone, furious, like you lied to me to be with another girl. I confronted him immediately by calling him back. He was stuck. He said he was busted, and he didn't want to tell me that he was going out with someone else, and he should have been forthcoming. And he apologized for it and said he would communicate better and not lie to me again. But I'm feeling a type of way, and I don't know if I want to continue this, although we're not exclusive. So what would you do? So this was an interesting scenario. So I broke it down, of course, by the genders, starting with the genders as always. 91% of women said he lied. He lied and we're done. They were not exclusive. So there really was no reason to lie. So here's the thing. Okay, so we do know that obviously there are people that are going to not hold themselves to that standard. I get that. I do get that. But they're not exclusive. So if you're not exclusive, you have no real reason to lie, because there's nothing to uphold. There was no cheating happened. So again, women, 91% have said he lied, and that was that. It's a red flag. Okay. So 9% of women said that they would stay. And one of them pointed out that he did not have to answer his phone. So remember back to the scenario where she said the guy was with the girl, and she immediately called him back, and he answered, and he noted that he was busted. And then again, of course, he answered his phone in front of the girl. So listen, that I do want to say that he gave that relationship priority over the other chick. I will give them that. Would that make me stay? Probably not. It would have to be a whole lot of changes that went on before I stayed with that. So let's move on, because we don't want to get stuck on what my opinion is. 23% of men said that they were not exclusive, and and kind of made the scenario more so about her feelings, which I thought was weird. They thought that she was mad because he slept with someone else, and she might have been. But the situation really was about the fact that he lied to her. He had no reason to lie because they were not exclusive. Now, I'll be the first one to tell you that, I've dated men. I date a lot of men. Men date a lot of women. This goes back and forth. We can go through this all kinds of different ways. But here's the way it goes. If a man is seeing someone, he owes you nothing to tell you, but don't lie about it. He doesn't owe you explanation as to what he's doing unless you give it. And if he gives it and he lies about it, then what are the bigger situations that he's going to lie about? That's the problem. Okay, so fear. I don't think that's fair. But you hear what I'm saying. 38% of men said, hey, he lied and he was in the wrong. And they said if the roles were reversed and the woman was the one who did not tell the truth and ended up with, they ended up getting busted, that the guys would leave. So 38% of men said that he lied and that he is at fault. And the flip side of that is 38% of men said it was a pretty lie. So what is a pretty lie? A pretty lie is a lie that people use to cover other people's feelings. It's a white lie. It doesn't matter. He told a lie to spare her feelings. He knew she was feeling him. And that's my opinion. He might not have known. But if he didn't know, why lie? Okay. So he told this pretty lie to cover her feelings. Now, men and women, I've heard this a lot. A lot of men have said, oh, women can't handle the truth. But I have to often wonder why people say that. Is it because they don't respond the way that you want them to? Because, okay, so if a man, for instance, while I was courting this guy, I mean, obviously, when we're talking in the talking stage, we want to know as much about each other as possible, right? So he told me he's poly. And I was like, okay, that's cool. It's not my thing. So, no, thank you. But you're a cool guy. We can still be friends. And he went on to say, well, he got mad and he said, I could have lied to you. True. You could have. But thank you for being the better man and telling me the truth and giving me the choice to say, I don't want that. Because guess what? I don't want that. Just because you tell us the truth, it does not mean we are required or obligated to stick that out, and vice versa. Just because we tell you we want it a certain way, just because I say I'm a brat, does not mean that you're obligated to stay with me because I told the truth. So if that's not what you want to deal with, if I told you I had 3 kids and you don't want a woman with kids, just because I told you I had 3 kids does not obligate you to stay. So it goes back to that. You're not obligated. Your truth does not obligate me to stay. Okay? Your truth does not guarantee my loyalty. It guarantees you that, I'll be honest back. But, it is what it is. Thank you for giving me the option to choose. But sometimes it's not going to come out in your favor. And just because it doesn't come out in your favor does not mean that it wasn't me handling the truth well. Okay. So majority of us really want the truth. I mean, it may upset us and we might make some moves because of it, but it doesn't mean that we don't deserve it. Okay. And pretty lies have left a lot of men and women holding like scraps of relationships that were absolute garbage. So I think most of us prefer that you tell us the truth up front so that we can make an informed decision as to if we want to mess with it or not. Now, we went through this whole TikTok beef with Chance and Laura, I think her name was, I forget. But this whole thing about, it was sexual assault because he didn't tell her that he was sleeping with other women. No, you got played. And that goes back to another instance of he didn't tell her the truth, and so she got mad. But had he told her the truth, do you think she would have done the same thing? No. Giving her a choice prevents hurt. Giving women the choice to say, you know what? I'm not going to hang out with you tomorrow. I actually have a date. It might hurt her feelings, and she can make moves because of it, but it doesn't mean she doesn't deserve that truth. Just putting that out there. So most There was another good point made by Anthony Eulis, and I want to make sure that I put that shout out. He said that most relationships can't pass the 3-month mark. So if there's past the 6-month mark, they're actually really doing something. And I have to agree to a certain extent that, yeah, most of us, I'll be honest with you, most of us can't stand a week dating somebody without conversation going awry. And you'd be like, oh, no, not him or not her, you know? So if you've been in it for like 6 months, then that's definitely something that you need to look at. So then you have to go back to one. Okay, so if it was him getting a last piece of behind before he decided to settle down, why? If this is a person that you like and you want to, be with, there's no need for anything else. Because if she did it, I bet there would be different feelings, honest or not. Okay, so let's be real talk. There is, for whatever reason, a form of, there's more disrespect, it feels like, based on a woman sleeping outside of a relationship than it is a man. If a man, oh, it's just cheating. If a woman is, oh, she's disloyal. And I don't know, you guys tell me how you feel about that. But definitely, I feel like there's more weight if a woman steps out on a relationship than it is when a man does it. Because I feel like women's emotions sometimes are tied with it, and not always, but definitely I've heard that before. So definitely some things that you need to be cognizant of. So before we move forward, before we go anywhere further, I want to make sure I put a shout out to the feature album Friday artist, which is going to be Escape. Listen, that was the joint back in the 90s. You guys need to go ahead and tune in on Friday, June 3rd at 5:30 Eastern Standard Time. And of course, that's 4:30 Central Standard Time. But make sure you tune into thebatchelornews.airtime.pro and check that out. It's going to be really good. It's a banger, okay? Escape is a banger. If you say nothing else, Escape is a banger. And then there's Whisper Softly. It is going to be from 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to 12 midnight. It is nothing but sensual, soulful sounds that you can flood your house with and just be easy. Again, bringing that peace of mind back into your house, bringing that vibe back down to where it needs to be so that you guys can vibe. That's definitely what I'm talking about. And that's going to be Sunday through Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And so I also want to give you guys a quick minute. I want to give a shout out to our host, the Batchelor News Radio Network. And we're going to take a quick break. And thank you for joining me here.
Gifted Hands of Fun Summer Camp is a fun summer camp for kids ages 5 through 12, Monday through Friday from 7:30 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. Gifted Hands of Fun Summer Camp provides lunch and snacks daily. Your child will enjoy activities like field trips weekly, music and dance classes, biblical teachings, games, basketball drills, flag football, face painting, and so much more. The first 20 kids to register will register for only $25 per child, so sign up today because slots are limited. Weekly rates, sibling discounts, and transportation are available too. For more info, call 919-435-4490. That's 919-435-4490. Sign up today.
Hola, mommies and poppies. It's Yawnie, your DJ and dance junkie with today's dose of the dime. Thank you for tuning back in. I appreciate you sticking with me because we are here for the tea. Whoo, listen, the tea is spicy today. So we were talking about definitely exclusivity. What it means to be exclusive. Exclusive means that there is no other person besides you. There's no talking. There's no sexual relationships. It is just me and you. So when you're not exclusive and you're sexually active, it means that they're open to be sexually active with whomever they choose. So when men say, nah, they're not exclusive, absolutely, you are absolutely right. It wasn't the problem about him sleeping with somebody else. To me, it was a problem that he lied. That was the big deal for me. Because he had no reason to lie. And that's where it is. Okay. So definitely lying is just a red flag in general, because if you're lying about little things, you're going to lie about the big things. And that's the thing. So if you catch people in little lies, it's just something to be reflective on. This was a big lie, but if you catch people in little lies, a red flag does not necessarily mean abort the mission. It just means, hey, this person has the potential to continue to lie. It's going to be a problem if it continues. So definitely make sure you keep that up, in your head. So what if this guy really had no intentions of making this chick exclusive? What if he had no intentions of ever settling down with her? What if he was just going to play with her for another 6 months, not being exclusive, having his cake and eating it too? And that's why I wanted to talk about definitely getting clarity in your relationship. So there was another video posted on the Dose of the Dime radio show Facebook group, and we talked about on the video, it talked about men and women, because I've done it myself, doing things that are relationship things, but not wanting to be in a relationship. And so that's a definite thing. You need to get clarity. You need to know that this person is for you, or that you're for that person, or that where are you going? What are you guys going to do? Is your intention to date? Is your intention to marry? Is that something that just even on the table? Because some people don't want to get married. So these are things that you need to have up front in the open in the beginning. Okay. So to be fair, okay, so story time. I had a friend, and she was really crushing on this guy. And they had been having long talks, and she would go over to his house, and they were having long talks and wine and everything else. And then finally she comes back to, oh my God, last night it happened. Last night they had sex. And I was like, oh, okay, so are you guys dating? Oh, no, I don't know. What do you mean you don't know? Oh, well, I don't know. And we'll get to the point that sex is not a relationship, but stay with me. I said, well, did you ask him? Are you guys going to start seeing each other? Because they weren't seeing each other. They were just talking and hanging out. And she says, no, I don't really want to ask him questions because, I don't want to run him away. What? I don't want to scare him off. No. If you are putting yourself on the line, and I'm talking to men too, because you guys do it too. If you are putting yourself out there, if you are putting yourself on the line, if you are putting forth these feelings, these emotions about dating, and you don't know where you stand, you could stand to be hurt. And if somebody runs off because you asked them where you guys are, that's not the person for you. And you can rest assured that's not the person for you. What is for you will not leave. What is for you will eventually abound. I believe that. Now, not everybody believes that, but I believe that. But definitely what's not for you, you can't hold on to. So if asking a question, if saying where are we, if doing things like this, if this frightens them off, then they're not worth being with anyway. So definitely something to take into consideration. Clarity is golden. Obviously you want to try and get clarity before you have sex, because sex confuses things. It confuddles everything, because you now have emotions, specifically for people who have physical touch as a language of love. It messes up everything because you want to continue to be touched. And so you're not willing to put that risk out there and lose that person. But unfortunately, it is something that needs to be happened. So let me go to one of these comments that was the crust. It was the GOAT of all time. I have never seen a comment like this, and it is worth reading on the Batchelor News Radio Network, because I feel like everybody can take something from this. So a question was asked again on the Dose of the Dime radio show, and it was, what advice do men have for women? And Hank Bird of Tulsa, Oklahoma, put out these wonderful, wonderful tips. So stay with me. His first tip was, dating is not a relationship. Sex is not a relationship. Stay with me right there for just a minute. Just what he said. Those two things does not make a relationship. You need to establish something official in order for it to be said that this is a relationship. If you're not official, you're not official. And it doesn't matter what you're doing. Okay. He says, establish your communication needs up front and let them be agreed upon. Some dudes don't sign up for 3 calls and 2,000 texts a day. And he's right. Those are unexpressed expectations. And you don't ever want to have those, because those are one of the major killers of a relationship. If you are a person that needs to have constant confirmation from your mate, you need to say that up front. I do. I'm very real about it. So definitely put your communication needs up front, because some guys aren't texters. Some guys are phone people only. And I know that I will probably dig with them. It is what it is. So number 4 is say what you want. Don't play along to get along and get mad because you weren't real with you and what your feelings, and that your feelings have gone unrequited. So what does that mean? It means that say what it is that you want. Be upfront. Again, getting that clarity, saying this is what I want. I would like to be in a relationship with you. What are we doing? And get that information, because you don't want to sit there and play along and then find out that that's not any intention that person had. Clarity is golden. I keep saying this and I will keep saying this. Please get clarity. And if you're worried about running somebody off, running a girl off, or running a guy off because you asked, they're not for you. They're not. So number 5, what should a dude does, not says. That tells you everything. That's 100%. Does not need to be explained. Number 6, if he's over 45, he's probably emotionally going to be where he is. There's room for him to grow if he wants to. And I have said this time and time again, you cannot change anybody. The only person that you can change is a child, and that's their diaper. That's it. You cannot change people. Number 7, don't settle. If you aren't feeling us, go with God. That part is true. I've had to counsel younger women who feel bad because they have let a guy go who really was dicking them. Okay, you weren't digging him. So you would rather sacrifice your feelings to stay with somebody that you don't really like. It doesn't make sense. And guys, the same for you. Just because a girl is fine or whatever, your guys think she's dope. If you don't like her, you don't have to stay. You don't have to stay. Okay? So a man isn't the sum of his penis. He may be blowing your back out, but does he expand your mind? That is 100%. I'm a sapiosexual, and that is real truth. Does he build with you? Can you see a future past the D? Real question. Don't fall for potential. There is a big difference between what a dude is talking versus what he's actually doing. Listen, woo-wee. I have said this a time and time again. Potential means not there now. There is space for potential. Don't get me wrong. But after a certain while, potential is damaging. You can potentially be a boyfriend for a very long time and not ever let it happen. And that's a problem. Listen, so definitely potential means not there now. There's a certain amount of time that you can allow for potential, but after that, you need to have some action behind it. Number 10, every man does have the basics. They should have the basics: a place of his own, a car, a steady income of some kind to sustain it all. And no matter how good the D is, nobody should be entertaining a homosexual. Amen to the choir on that. And that goes for women too. If she doesn't have her stuff together, it is an absolute choice if you want to stay with her. But understand what it is that you're signing up for, and you can't get mad when it does not work into your favor. Number 11, how he talks about and treats his mother is important. Don't mess around and get slapped because you sounded like Phyllis. Whoops. Whoo. The same goes for, he talks about that next. He says, watch how he talks about and treats his children. If you never see him with his kids, or he isn't playing with or he isn't paying his child support, he's a deadbeat. And you need to move on. I want to add to number 11, how he talks about, watch how he talks to his mother. Watch how he talks about his ex-girlfriends too. And this, again, please understand, this is Hank's advice to women, but this can equally go for men. I can see several different ways that this can equate to men. If the girl is treating her dad or has daddy issues and she's talking to you, I could see this absolutely going the wrong direction. Again, so the last one was, again, watch how he talks about his and treats his children. If you never see him with his kids or he isn't paying child support, he's a deadbeat. And I have to agree. And it's amazing to me. I will see people be with women or men. Well, let's put it like this. People will be with men who don't pay child support, or who don't have their children, or who don't see their children, and the guy will play with their children. That's not okay. And this is my opinion, obviously. So apparently you can come for me if you want to on this one. If you deal with the dude and he does not deal with his children, it's not okay. and God forbid you get pregnant and you don't want to do what he says, guess what's going to happen to you next? And the same thing goes for women. God forbid that you run up on a chick and all she talks about is her baby daddy and how awful he was. Guess what you're going to be next? So definitely these are good tools and tips to live by. And that is kind of my time. I want to leave you with a short affirmation just to kind of tide us over in the new moon. And it is, I am thankful for what I have and I am excited about what is to come. I am thankful for what I have, and I am excited for what is to come. So thank you guys for joining me right here on the Batchelor's Radio Network. Please hit me up next time, same place, and thank you for joining me. Bye.